I couldn't rob a bank in this jacket because you'd hear me coming from a mile away. Hello everyone, welcome back for another video. A little bit of a different setup today, but had an idea that was inspired by some short form content that I made. Normally, it works the other way. I have ideas for long format videos, and then I build my short form content around some of those ideas, but posted a video featuring some of my fall jackets, so I thought it could be good to really show them off on a YouTube video. Before we get into it, guys, do not forget to like, comment, subscribe. Here on this channel, we believe in approaching style without boundaries or limitations, and if that resonates with you, I think you're going to like it here. So, we're not going to ramble way too much. We're going to get right into it. I realized I have a lot, so let's start with some of the basic everyday staples, and we'll work our way up to some of the more statement pieces. Starting out, we have this leather motorcycle jacket from Allsaints. I've had this piece for probably 8 years now, and it is still going strong. Purchased this from my local Bloomingdale's while I was still working in retail because I just knew that everyone needs a good leather motorcycle jacket, regardless of your style. This is a size small, it's medium weight, fully lined, palladium hardware, and you can tell, right? It's worn a little bit with age, but it still looks really, really good. This is my preference for those mid to late fall days where the weather's in the 50s or the 60s, where you need something to throw on, but you're not ready for necessarily a full overcoat. Plus, this looks so effortlessly cool, it really jazzes up any outfit. I would actually wear it with what I have on right now, which these are a pair of tuxedo pants from Calvin Klein, back when Ralph Simmons was the creative director, and then just a simple black tank top from Target. Even though I don't reach for this one every single day, it's a piece that I'll never part with because it's just so good. A tip for if you're buying genuine leather, if it feels a little snug, that is okay because the leather really starts to break in and mold to your body and eventually will give a little bit of extra room. This, for example, is a size small, and when I bought it, it felt just slightly tight, but as you can see now, I've got plenty of room to move around. It definitely isn't small at all. I know you're probably thinking, dude, you just had a black leather motorcycle jacket, and I just say, don't come at me too hard, okay? Okay? I may have a slight problem, but hear me out, hear me out. This one actually predates my All Saints jacket, and you can tell that it has a lot more going on with it than the All Saints jacket. Definitely more of a statement, attention-grabbing piece. With this one, this, if you recognize it, this is part of the H&M and Versace collaboration from, I want to say like 2011, 2012, probably. And I remember getting up at the crack of dawn, driving up to New York City, standing in queue overnight, going into the store and grabbing absolutely everything. And I managed to get my hands on this beautiful piece. Shout out to my grandmother who made this a reality. And I haven't parted ways with it. This is a size small. Looking at it now, today, you can tell it actually is a pretty decent fit, but I was a little bit more chunky back then. So definitely was a very, very tight fit. And I think that that makes a little bit of sense. Italian cut, tends to be more narrow, more trim. This, while being a piece I don't reach for all the time, when I put on, just really makes things super cool. I remember styling this jacket up with the matching motorcycle pants for what I would wear front row at a fashion show video that I did on TikTok. And it just hits every time. Given the fit of this, considering the really snug fit, especially in the sleeves, you can't layer anything super thick underneath of this, which means the life cycle for this is pretty short. All right, let's not dawdle, let's move right along. Okay, maybe I have a small problem, but I swear It seems like I have a lot because I just have collected over the years. Each of these pieces is old. If we think about how quickly people move through clothing these days, this jacket is probably 10 years old, I want to say. So I like to collect. You might you might call it hoarding, and that's fair if that's how you see it, but for me, I really like to have a piece for every occasion. And back when I was really getting into fashion very seriously, TopMan was the place to shop. I stalked their website like a freak. And that's because TopMan was really the store for the slightly more alternative boys. The guy who liked a slimmer cut, black, leather, cheeky graphic tees, studded necklaces, a little bit alternative, but still very trend forward, very fashion focused. And I wanted to be that person. I definitely didn't want to fit the norm, and so I really, really liked the aesthetic that Top Man embodied. And so when I saw this jacket, I knew I wanted to have it, especially given that it was silver. Back when I bought this jacket, it wasn't so commonplace to see men expressing their sense of style in a more bold and daring way. And this jacket, while probably seeming pretty plain today, definitely was a statement piece. Silver is my favorite neutral. It actually matches perfectly with my Saint Laurent boots, my very first Saint Laurent purchase. This is actually genuine leather, which I was surprised about considering that it wasn't terribly expensive, but it also is extremely thin. So this is actually a piece I can wear on milder days right now while the weather's still hot, and it's the perfect night out piece for those slightly chillier evenings. What do you guys think? I cannot believe how well this jacket has held up. But maybe it's because I get to alternate between three leather jackets, so I don't overly abuse this one. You know, guys, it makes me laugh when I'm checking out the fashion trends and I see things that I was wearing in my youth that are suddenly back in style. But I've also noticed that even though I talk about trends, I read about them, and I like to be current and up to date on what's happening in fashion, I tend to be pretty consistent. And I think you're noticing that the pieces that I'm showing are pieces that I've had for years on end. And I think that speaks to finding my authentic style. I love a good jacket, and this is no exception. So this is actually a fully suede fringed jacket. This is actually from H&M and it's in this beautiful sand color. If you guys remember back in the 2010s, H&M used to have a collection of items that had a purple label on the inside. And what I noticed about those pieces is that they usually were a little bit more trend forward, a little bit higher quality. Definitely higher quality materials were used. Genuine leather, silk, suede, and while taking one of my quarterly pilgrimages to New York City to do some shopping, I went to my favorite H&M, which is the one on Herald Square, and saw this jacket and had to buy it. It was such a good price. I think I got this for maybe what, $150? Which for genuine suede is definitely a steal. And I have kept it ever since. I definitely style it a little bit differently than I have in the past, but it's a piece that still brings me so much joy. What I love about this jacket in particular is that it's a more midweight suede rather than a super heavyweight compared to some of the items that I tend to see available today. And I enjoy that because this is the perfect answer to fall weather in the Northeast where I live. This jacket can be extremely warm, especially if you layer, but if you're just doing a simple tank top or like a t-shirt underneath, it definitely can be good for very mild weather as well. So I try to break this out for any day that it's not rainy. I think today, a simple tank top, probably in white, with a light wash flare jeans and cowboy boots. I've got about four pairs, but maybe even my pink Calvin Klein would be a good fit. Plus, like, every time I turn around, that fringe just swishes, and that is very, very satisfying. It's a lot, but it's also very me. So, this jacket is definitely something that doesn't really go well with this outfit. I am itching to go put on jeans, but I also don't want the outfit to take away from the jackets because it's all about the jackets, not actually me styling the piece. But this is a more recent pickup where most of the items I've shown you are, years old. I've had for, close to a decade, if not longer. This is something I purchased at the tail end of winter last year. It's from Anthropologie, which is a store that I often frequent. I am a little bit bohemian and I tend to like some of their pieces because they feel appropriate for a young adult or even an adult, but still carry a sense of whimsy, and that really speaks to me. This jacket was one of the first pieces that I saw walking into the store, and I popped it on and was like, yeah, I'm taking that. The dramatic sleeve with the cotton embroidery is beautiful, plus the little bit of the cropped body with then the embroidery along the placket as well. This is a great jacket, and actually, if I get a little closer, I think you can see that the jacket actually has plenty of texture as well. It's the details for me. Does it make my arms look a little bit short? Yes. It is the perfect piece to throw on for a casual outfit and inject a little bit of drama. For me, I love this with a white tank top, barrel leg jeans, low top white sneakers, or even a pair of Converse. People stop and are like, whoa. You look good. Like you're not trying hard, but that you tried really hard at the same time. And I love pieces like this that do that. So, what do we think? You guys would never guess who makes this jacket. I'm telling you, don't sleep on them because you gotta pay attention. They have such interesting pieces. This jacket is Coach. I know. This was a piece that my mom picked up for me when Stuart Vevers took over as creative director. So this is a pretty early piece from that time period. For me, being the hipster that I was at that time, I loved the look of the bomber jacket, but I didn't want to buy the Alpha Industries bomber jackets that everybody else was wearing. So this was a nice alternative. Plus, I know Coach has been a brand that has served me and my family well. I know that my mother's first, expensive handbag was a Coach bag that she had for decades. For me, my first handbag, which was a carry-all tote for work, was Coach. My first wallet was Coach. And I still have those pieces today. But what I love is that Stuart Vevers has a bit of a whimsy to him, and he makes really interesting ready-to-wear and shoes. So, loved his answer to the Alpha Industries bomber jacket, and this one actually, to me, is even cool because, yes, it's got the bulkiness of a bomber jacket, but the body is actually a little bit slimmer, and I actually prefer that to the more full body of the Alpha Industries jacket. But let me stop rambling. I'm not making any sense. So I always look for pieces that have something slightly unconventional. And for me and my mother, we love just the oversized zipper detail. Like, that's unnecessary to have a zipper that big, but does it make sense for me? Absolutely. Reminds me of a designer pair of pants I had where the zipper was literally this big. All right, let's move into the next piece. This jacket still brings me joy. I probably looks more over the top because I'm not dressed appropriately, although I don't see how it isn't over the top anyway. But this impractical number is Nanushka. I love this jacket, and I stalked it, and I stalked it, and I stalked it, and then it went on discount around the new year, and I bought it. This is the type of piece that I would start to wear in a couple of weeks. Yes, it's thick, yes, it's puffy, it's nice and enveloping, but because it hangs off the shoulder with the straps, as you can see, it doesn't keep you overly warm. So I wouldn't pair it with this black tank top. Instead, I would opt for a turtleneck sweater, which gives a little bit more of the warmth that you're missing, and that makes it the perfect item for early October, late September for where I live. I remember I wore it in DC around this time and was perfect walking around. But again, another piece that for me just goes into the archive, it's so unconventional and it's so interesting, and that's what I like about this piece. Plus, I don't know, the color for me feels very fall. Champagne gold, it's the perfect neutral for fall, right? If you asked me to describe joy in a jacket, I would pull this out and I would say, here you go. This is... I love this jacket so much. This is not keeping anybody warm, but that's okay, because you look good. So this is another go-to piece for me in the transition. So you're getting a trench coat at the top, but then at about the small of your back, you're getting all this beautiful cascading tulle. This jacket is so eye-catching. I love wearing it with casual looks, but I love wearing it with a more dressed up look with like a tailored pant. And actually, this is the perfect color story with my trousers and my Calvin Klein boots. Like a match made in heaven. I don't even have to say that much about this jacket because it does all the talking. No, it's not warm, but yes, it feels perfectly on theme for the fall.